What's happening, Virgo? Welcome to my channel, Alchemist 8. Justin here, and I hope you're having an awesome week so far. So for those of you who are returning, thank you for your likes, shares, and subscribes. I greatly appreciate it. And for those of you who are new, welcome. You are in for an awesome journey. So what I'm going to be doing is a tarot card reading for the week of October 16th through the 22nd. And just so that you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this thing. Your space has been cleansed. The gems are shiny, ready to see you. I'm going to be pulling 15 cards. They're going to be 5 groups of 3. The middle group is going to be the nature of your problem. The upper left and right hand groups are going to be some future outcomes you might be considering. The bottom left is going to be some perspectives and some perspectives to consider in relationship to the problem. And then the bottom right is going to be whatever messages that your higher self would like you to know. And in case you're curious, the deck that I'm using is the Aleister Crowley's Thoth deck. Art on this card is super cool, so I'll make sure to show you close-ups of those as they come up. So without further ado, higher self, what is in store for Virgo this week? Let's go and get these cards pulled, and then we'll jump right into it. All right, Virgo. Okay, let's go and get these straightened up, and then we'll get right into this thing. Nice. All right. Okay, Virgo. So, for the nature of your problem, you have the 8 of Discs here. And then the cards that came with it are the Hanged Man and the 3 of Swords. So, with this 8 of Discs, the 8 of Discs to me, this is calling upon, your challenge is to really call upon the wisdom. I feel like that's this is like calling upon your life experiences to deal with whatever problems you might be facing this week. And I feel like this is more so, I feel like this is less of your problem and more of a strength that you're going to need, this wisdom. Since I pulled the, you're chilling, I pulled this card. Since we have the Hanged Man here, I feel like you're going through a time of self-reflection. You know, the Hanged Man is kind of like redemption through sacrifice. It's about new perspectives. You know, there's that saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But, maybe there is a better way of going about something, and I feel like this is calling upon you. This is funny. This is one of your cards. This is the Sun in Virgo. So I feel like this is kind of like asking to shine some light on, calling upon your wisdom in the past to deal with this Hanged Man situation, whatever you happen to be reflecting on this week. Because there's going to be, just like in the past when things have seemed hard, you've taken that and you've grown stuff, Virgo. But, with this one, something about this one seems to be really, and they, these feelings, come at varying degrees. But with this 3 of Swords here, I feel like this is something that's really kind of got you in your feelings this week. And I don't say that like as a bad thing. And I say like in your feelings, like it just, sometimes, you try to shake something off. No, I'm fine. Oh, everything's okay. Everything's great. But, deep down, there's this balance going, or this imbalance going on here. There's whatever this sorrow, the 3 of Swords is like a sorrow, melancholy, very somber type of energy. And I feel like that has to do with this Hanged Man. This reflective period may not be what it may not be, it might be asking a lot for you this week, because I did mention, that he is redemption through sacrifice. So I feel like for some of you there is, and it doesn't have to be necessarily big, I'm not asking for like everything you have, but I feel like it is asking you what is not serving you well in your life right now. This is the hangman is taking the time. It's like he's been going. It's kind of like oh, I don't have the King of Wands here, but he's kind of like he's been going, and now that hasn't been working. He's burnt out, and you know what? You've not. It's time. It's like a forced time to reflect. This isn't like your card is the hermit. This isn't a hermit moment. This is like the universe is like you need to sit down, and time to reflect. Really, let's do some meditation and really figure this out because yeah, things are off balance right now, Virgo, and I feel like you know how to get out of this funk. You've been here, you've been in maybe not, of course not in this exact situation, but you've dealt with situations like this, or at least you have the wisdom, the prudence to deal with a situation like this. So I feel like this week, be patient with yourself, show, be compassionate. First and foremost, because the Hanged Man, it's not meant to be a time. This is not meant to be like a punishing time. There might be some things that we definitely don't like. Maybe it's like something that you thought was serving you a purpose. You might have to cut to the wayside, whatever that's looking like for you. But I don't take this as some kind of punishment or like something. This is something you've done something bad and this is what you deserve. No, this is what you deserve is some wisdom from this situation. That's all. This is going to give you, I feel like this Hangman is going to give you clarity that's going to really help emphasize this, get you to this 8 of disc energy, get you back in the sun, so that you're not, feeling so down all the time. And those feelings happen again. But I do feel with this that you're going to get through this, Virgo. This is not something, it's always temporary. We can choose to, I like with the Hanged Man, some people like to take the long way. So, spend as much time in it as you need, but don't wallow in it. Don't revel in it, because we want to get to that where we're having, where our mindset is in a better place. We want growth to come from this Hanged Man. You don't want to be, wouldn't that be silly to be hanging up all upside down all this time and not learn anything? That'd be, what were we doing? So definitely be kind to yourself. Take this as the growth period that it needs to be, okay? So I won't harp I won't stay too long on that one. That message feels pretty solid. Let's move on to some future stuff here. Since we're talking about mindsets, I think I'm going to start with this we're going to start with the upper left first, because I want to say, because you'll see, I want to save this. So on the upper left, I pulled the Aeon card, the 6 of Cups, and the 7 of Wands. So this is some nice energy. For some of you here, I feel like this Hanged Man situation is coming to a close. The Aeon card is about that. It's about closure, resolution, and another aspect of it is it's about definitive action. So if anything, if it hasn't quite come to a close yet, if we're not, we're still hanging in this Hanged Man, we're still hanging around in this, we're just still hanging around. Someone's gonna come and cut you down. We're gonna get out of this, because you're hanging from a spiritual tree in my head on the Hanged Man. And someone's going to cut you down from this tree, and it's going to be all done. And we're going to, either way, whether it's you or just a situation, however it comes to resolution, it is going to lead to this 6 of Cups, where this is 6 of Cups is about pleasure, happiness. We could be getting a little bit. You deserved it. You've been reflecting. Treat yourself a little bit. But I will say with the 6 of Cups, don't overindulge. But definitely have some fun. This has been, you've deserved it. The 6 of Cups is definitely just like a treat yourself. Do something that you find pleasurable. It doesn't necessarily have to be going to Funky Town. It could be sitting back, maybe having maybe watching your favorite show, or going for a walk, going for a hike, going on a vacation, whatever you find, whatever you do in your recreation. I feel like that's what this 6 of Cups is calling for, because you've been through quite a lot with this Hanged Man. You're feeling kind of down. What better ways to lift up your spirit than to treat yourself kind of day? And I feel like that partners very well too with this 7 of Wands here. And the 7 of Wands, usually I like to use, it comes across to me as like, it's calling upon like you to use courage, to use this energy to tackle different ooh, what am I trying to say here, Virgo? I feel like the Seven of Wands is usually for me, it's like a card of courage. You know, you have everything that you need right here. You have these Six of Wands are all lined up, and the only thing in your way is this middle wand here. And I'd like to think that that represents you. And I feel like once you get out of your way and really start channeling that energy into the appropriate places that you need, things are just gonna take off. And this card is also too represents, small victories, struggle after no, not struggle after success. Reverse that. Success after struggles. So I do really feel like this is kind of saying you're getting to the tail end of this Hanged Man for some of you. It's only a matter of time. This is have that fun. Oh, sorry if the camera's shaking. Hey D. But see, even the cat wants you to go ahead and celebrate this as a win. This was you earned this. You've taken that time, you've gotten that wisdom. Go ahead and revel in the rewards, okay? So let's I'm gonna leave that there. I like that there for that future option. For some others on this right hand side here, I pulled the Nine of Swords, the Four of Swords, and the Sun. I love the Sun. I love when it shows up. But first, let's talk about some of the serious stuff before we get to our happy Sun. So, Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords to me, it has cruelty on the card, and really and this is less really about the card and more when I think about just as the word itself, I feel like there aren't a lot of people who are usually cruel to me. Usually, if I'm putting cruel, it's something that I've been saying to myself. I feel like this is my card of showing yourself some compassion. Or if someone has been, if this has been where you're at, because swords can represent intellectual matters. And with these two swords here, I really feel like you're trying to get to this Four of Swords where everything is, this is another one of those, like success after a hard time, this is just, you're getting your balance again. But it's going to start with that, we gotta start with some compassion. Because I don't know if you could see at the bottom of these cards, you got the Nine Swords here, and then there's this blood dripping down, like little blood droplets. And what I like to think of it as, these are like your, all the negative things, like I could be better here, 1 to 9. And, you may not be super, it may not be like really harsh stuff. I don't know what your internal monologue looks like on the negative, but regardless, it's still negative, and that stuff, it's going to bleed you. It may start off as one thing, and then it becomes two. Next thing you know, it's sneaky like that. It starts to become more and more and more as it evolves. And then next thing you know, you're just like, you're hemorrhaging, because it's just like, what happened? Why am I feeling these Three of Swords? Because I've been stuck in this Nine of Swords for too long. I've been wallowing in this instead of showing myself some compassion. I'm speaking through you, Virgo. But this is what the Nine of Swords, I feel like, calls upon you to do, is to really just be kind to yourself. I get it. Really, this should be the nature of your promise, the Hanged Man. But, no. Because I'm not going to twist fate like that. Because, again, this is saying it's not your nature of your problem, because you are wise, Virgo. You are stronger than that. And that's what this is remind you of. Focus on this Eight of Disc here. In those times where you've been down, what have you done to get yourself out of that? And if that's not working, come at it with something new. Maybe pick up a new hobby. Find something else that might be pleasurable for you. But we are really trying to get to this balance so that we can get to the Sun, so that we can just be happy. It's joy, just all the warm and fuzzies with this card. I love the Sun, and you should too, because the Sun loves you and it wants you to be happy. So, again, this is the Sun, eight of disc. This is the Sun in your sign, Virgo. So I think this is very appropriate. get your sun back. This is get that back. And this applies for, again, the future is, these two options are not your only options. It's not like if you don't follow these, like, that's it. No, the fun thing about the future is it's all a reflection of the now. So if you want to play around with stuff, it's like, you know what? Yeah, I want to get to this closure, and then I want to, I am done. I'm ready to be compassionate. I'm going to throw some joy on this. I'm going to get that courageous, celebrate those small victories so I can get that sun. Mix this how you will, Virgo. You have the power. Use that wisdom that you know, definitive action. Go ahead and make this shit happen because you can, Virgo. I believe in you 100%. Now you just have to believe in you. Because this is the sun. Oh, the sun is upside down. And look, even upside down, still so pleasant. But this is you. You know how to claim this sun, Virgo. In your card, the Hermit, there is the figure is holding this sun in the center of it. Like this. It's another card of contemplation. So, I feel like your sun is right around the corner. Really, the sun's always out. It just wants you to enjoy it. It just wants you to remember that. That it's not always, just 9 of swords and blood and everything. There's some sun in here too. Ooh, how'd you get over here? Oh, and we got a jumper. I'll get that in a second. But to wrap this feature up here, I won't stay in this too much longer, but gain that happiness, Virgo. I want you to happy, and I know you want to happy. So go ahead and happy it up, all right? So, okay, let me grab that guy. No more jumping. Okay, so I feel that's feeling really good, Virgo. That feeling good for you? They'll yell at me if they want more. Okay, so with some perspectives to consider when dealing with the nature of your problem, which I love. I'm really loving this, Virgo. You have the Ace of Wands, the Four of Discs, and the Ace of Cups. Love this ace energy here because you're an ace. I'm gonna feed your ego. This it doesn't happen very often, but I'm gonna feed your ego. All right, Virgos. I'm gonna lift you up. By the end of this, I want you smiling, giddy. I don't expect you to be cured. I know I'm amazing, but I want you to have that same confidence. I want you to remember how amazing you are, and that's what we're going to focus on this reading. I'm just going to build you up. And that's what we're doing right by planting this Ace of Wands seed, because the Ace of Wands, really any of the aces, they are the root of whatever element they are. So you got with the cups and the wands here, you got the root of fire and the root of water. And I love that there are two contradictory energies here too, because this is perfect. I feel like this is because we're gonna use these. We're gonna use these to do some really great stuff. The Ace of Wands is fire at its like I said, at its root core. So this is taking that energy and planting that seed. Really, I want to put these. How do I want to address this, Virgo? Because I'm so excited with all this abundance here. Get that found. Let's start here. Let's start with this Four of Discs first, and then we're gonna get to all this abundance, because we need a platform for this stuff. And what better platform than this Four of Discs? The Four of Discs is about power, gaining like law and order, really about getting your control back. That's how I feel this card is. This is about really getting stable again. Whether it be, the disc can represent finances, so even if this is like a financial thing that's weighing down on your head, or this could apply to that too. Whatever that situation is, this is you gaining your control back, getting that balance. Look at this foundation. You got all the elements here. These are each of the element signs. Got all of them here. Everything is in balance. So now that we have a foundation, let's plant that energy. Let's go ahead and feed that. Start to get some things moving again. Because sometimes, with these hanged man moments, I don't say it's like a time to stop, but definitely a time to pause, and really kind of reassess and make sure that everything is where it needs to be. Because if you're going to be working with energy that big, you want to make sure that you're emotionally, that you're in the right place. And what better way to get in a better emotional place than with this Ace of Cups? because the Ace of Cups, this is, cups have to do with like emotional aspects usually. So, feed yourself emotionally. Do those things that are going to get your mindset back in that great headspace. Because I mean, look at this. This is just like all the feels just spilling over. This is like, if the sun could come in a cup, that's your Ace of Cups. I feel like this is you getting that. Just really achieving that bliss and that emotional balance again. Did I say emotional? I hope I said emotional. I feel like I just made up a word. We're moving on. But either way, I really enjoy this, Virgo. This is really cool. So definitely, take this time to, while you're in this hangman, or if you're just getting out of it, this is a good time. I feel like this really is kind of saying, take this energy and focus on yourself. Really pour into that, because you'll see when you fill your cup, everything else, once that's ready to overflow and you're ready to share that with your surroundings, it's going to be so much easier to fill, because you'll have that to give. If you're pulling from empty cups, it's going to wear you out over time. And then what was the point of planting these seeds? Then these seeds aren't being used to their fullest potential. And that's what I want for you, Virgo, because again, you're amazing. Use that wisdom that I know you have and that you have. Plant these seeds, because look at that. If you got some sun here, because all this beautiful flower stalk, because it's not a bean stalk. It's prettier than that. We're going to call this a flower stalk. Wow. But take that energy, take of this wands as your sun. You got to feed this sun, and think of this cups as your water. Got to give this water so that you, Virgo, that's your symbol down here, can grow and reach that sun. Gosh, I love when the cards work together like this. And didn't you like that, Virgo? That made me feel good. So, I won't, we're going to move on to your higher self, because your higher self's got some good stuff to, your higher, Virgo, you are an ace. I hope you know that, because we're getting ready to pull out a third ace here. See how excited I'm getting for your future, Virgo? I hope you're feeling this energy. I'm transferring it over, because with what message that your higher self wants you to know, you have the Queen of Disc, the Three of Disc, and the Ace of Swords. So, let's start with this here, because I like this. With this Queen of Disc, the Queen of Disc she's an OG. I love the Queen of Disc. She is looking out. Think of this empty field. Think of that as you, Virgo. This is your emotional state right here. This is where your hanged man is. Where the sorrow is. This is your field that you need to work with. Think of this as your field, and then this is you. Is what I'm. You know what I'm trying to say, Virgo. But this project that is you are working on it. She's not looking at this as, she's not overwhelmed by this. She's not looking at this as like, oh my gosh, look at all of this. Like, where do I even start? Like, this is so much. No, she's looking at this like, I'm about to build, I'm going to have a forest here, I'm going to put my house here, there's going to be like all this, there's going to be a big old lake right here, I'm going to have a river run through here. She's got plans. She's getting ready to put in that work, because she's got all these seeds to work with. Someone told her wait a minute, you telling me I got to work this field with an Ace of Wands, an Ace of Cups, and an Ace of Swords? Shit, give me something harder. And that's you, Virgo. Again, we're channeling that boss energy. And the Queen of Disc is nothing if not bossy. In the best way. And with this I don't know if I actually told you this Three of Disc is about. The Three of Disc is about work. As far as, and I feel like that's what's going to happen. This hangman, this stuff, growth takes work. But I feel like it's going to be good work. This is, it also can represent, it's, starting up a project, again, that project could be you, Virgo, because what a beautiful project you are. I know you're gonna be so done with me, just all this flattery by the end of it. But I want you to get out of these feels, Virgo, because really, this really is a good reading, and I'm hoping with this that this Ace of Swords moments come, this clarity. This is the root of air. You know, this is, you got this sword here. Usually this is my card of with great power comes great responsibility. And that definitely applies here, you know, with, you know, once you get that clarity, that crystal clear, that razor sharp focus and whatnot, you know, great stuff's going to happen. You're going to, just another thing to add to your Ace of Disc. But I will say, definitely make sure your headspace is in the right place, you know. Because we don't want this to stay barren. You know, we don't want her to just always be looking out at this field. At some point, you do need to start. You know, we do need to put in that work, and you know this. And I feel like you're gonna put in this work. You know, I don't really feel my normal feelings with this is just being responsible with your power. You should always be responsible with your power, but I feel like this is more so coming in as like a clarity for you. You know, it's really, you know, this, think of this crown as something, this has been that three of swords that's been weighing down on your head, you know, this hanged man, you know, and this is you piercing that, you know, this is just like you, that realization of just like, wait a minute, I am in control of my head. Get out of here. Stop wearing my crown. You're going to put your crown back on. Look how awesome your crown is. You've got these horns. Virgo, come on now. So yeah, that's where I like this reading, Virgo. I won't I think it's safe to transition back over to, well, maybe. Yes, to transition back over to me, which Virgo. I love this. I really love this, and you should too. You know, there are great things on the horizon. You know, I say just this really is a good time for you to, I think, really be, you know, for those of you who are still in this hanged man, you know, thinking about that new perspective, you know, going through this trial right now. Know that you got some strong forces behind you, and that it's going to be all right. Everything is going to be all right. I believe it, so you should believe it too. We're hear that? We're manifesting it right now. I want you to, after this video, go ahead and take a power pose. You know, look yourself in the mirror and just like, I am the boss. I'm the shit. Man, how did you get so incredible? And I know it might sound a little egotistical, but it's good every now and again, you know, because it's so easy to just be like, gosh, God, why do you do that? You know, I stumble over my words constantly, you know, and it's just like, God, why? I could be like, oh, why you're so stupid? You shouldn't even be doing this channel, blah, blah, blah. But what's that going to serve me? Come at it playful. You know, use that wisdom. Shit's going to happen. You know, we're getting through this. You're not alone in this. We're in this together. I forgot who else I told, but you know what? Whenever you're feeling down, the nice thing about these videos is I know I have them set for specific weeks, but in a way, pull this up whenever you're feeling down, you know? Just whenever you need to pick me up and your voice isn't loud enough in your head to tell you that you're great, because I'll tell you you're great all day. All right, Virgo, I'm done assaulting you with all this praise, maybe. But I hope this resonated with you, resonated with me. Please like, share, subscribe, check your moon, check your rising, check your Venus. You know, I feel like that's been like the challenge this week. Just getting a little more, since you're already meditating, get to know yourself a little bit better, because then that might even oh, I don't know why I put him down. He's chilling up here. You know, this might be that time too to once you've gotten to learn more about yourself, you can consider a different perspective. There's something there's something freeing about, like, once you, and I hope these readings help too. Like, this my whole point is to bring in that new perspective, you know, so that I can, if you can't cut yourself down from the tree, I'm there to help, you know. So, and if I'm not there, get your support system, you know. This too, make sure your support system is, you know, bringing you up as well. So, all right, we'll move on for that, because I know you've been waiting on it, because guess what? Celestial News Weekly. It's that time. I know I've been telling the other signs. I'm trying to. I feel like with every time I'm introducing this, it's getting like a little more ridiculous, and this I think is just going to be a thing. Oh, it's 222 Virgo. I don't have shit. Oh, and it's in military time. It's 222. So I'm taking that synchronicity as verifying that everything's going to be great. So let's move on to the news. Tomorrow on the 17th is the last quarter moon, and this is a good time. I said like I was gonna move on from something. This is a good time for transitions. Oh, hold on. Completions, letting things go. You know, we're letting go this 3. We're letting go this 3 of Swords energy. We're letting go this 9 of Swords energy. We're not just thinking about. Let me tell you about what this last quarter moon's about. It's about letting go and all that stuff and taking responsibilities for your mistakes, but also for your accomplishments. You know, oh, hold on. This doesn't match. This feels uneven. This is an accomplishment too. And you know what? Ha! Look at that. Now the accomplishments are outweighing the losses. Now we're winning. See? This is about that time of letting go. Like, weigh the stuff. Celebrate yourself. Learn from your mistakes. It's going to be all right. It's coming to a close, Virgo. Okay, next order of business. So I know I went retrograde crazy last week, so I'm gonna keep it light this week. I want to introduce a planet, if you're not familiar with it, Chiron, and it's not one of our major planets. It's a minor planet. It started out as an asteroid initially. It was discovered in 1977 for you history buffs out there, and it It represents trauma. You know, Chiron is it orbits between Saturn and Uranus, and yeah, it's a time for like addressing. It represents like dealing with traumas and like that type of healing, and with it being in retrograde, it'll be in retrograde until the 23rd, and yeah, it's a really kind of like a really cathartic time, you know, to kind of deal with what is, and these I don't even. These could be traumas. You know, there's no trauma, however big or small, or big. you hang with me, Virgo. It's about kind of bringing that stuff to light and allowing you that space to heal, to be compassionate in all this. You know, because we all have something deep down that. It might even be repressed, you know, this as you get to dealing with things, as we get from one hanged man situation to another, or just, you know, as we're acquiring more mindfulness, things will bubble up as it becomes appropriate, I feel. And you know, I feel like this is a good time for you to, especially if you really got you down in the dumps, this is really a good time to pull one of those to light, and just to kind of give it the space that it needs. Because if you let it fester behind here, then it becomes like a devil moment. It's going to pop out of your head, might pop out the side here. It's going to pop out however it needs to, you know. So give it that space. You know, I feel like it's one of those. That's why I've been trying to frame them less as negative cards and more as invitations for mindfulness. So yeah, that's what Chiron's about. I'm like halfway. I'm still like in your reading. I'm still, you know, feeding your ego here, Virgo, while I'm trying to do the news. Last little random fact about Chiron, because I found this really fascinating. In general, Chiron spends an average of 4 years in each sign, except for 4 signs: Pisces and Aries. Chiron stays in Pisces and Aries for a long time. We're talking like 7 to 8 years. I think he's in Aries right now. And for Libra and for you, Virgo, it only stays in there for 1 or 2 years. Why? I'm looking that up. So don't you worry. I'm going to have more. We will get into that because I do find that really curious. You know, what that whole thing's about. It's just like, oh, you know what it probably is, because you got me over here. You got your cheerleader over here. Chiron's like, oh, you're doing the job for me. I don't need to stay here that long. So that means I have to bring it for Libra too. We'll have to see what their problem is. Not your problem, Virgo. Your problem is you got this cheerleader in the background that wants you to win, wants you to do well. Okay, okay. We're almost done. Now I'm going to start getting to just when the news is a little bit lighter this week. So I'm going to start, when that's the case, I'm going to start introducing like aspects. And aspects are how the planets relate to each other. You know, if a planet's a certain amount of degrees for something from another planet, then this cool effects happen depending on the position. You can get your natal chart involved. It's a whole thing. But it's, this kind of stuff, it may seem a little nuanced and like, kind of like a lot to take in, but think about the weather. I mean, right now it was kind of cloudy earlier, but now it's like it's raining sideways. But it's, the whole intention of Celestial News Weekly is it's just like for your regular, earthly news. You want to, what the weather's like when you're going outside. Why not know what's going on in the planet while you're inside this vessel, while you're going through this experience. So, I really feel like, I'm still getting in your problems, Virgo. I'm still trying to, it's like I got one tone right now. It's just to cheer you on. The sun is trine with Mars, is what I'm getting at. And to be trine with another planet is they're within 120 degrees of each other. I don't know if this is actually 120 degrees, but we're going to pretend that this is. And all that means is, it ends on the 26th. But this is a good time to any projects. I don't know, maybe like self-care, maybe getting out of this hangman moment, putting that new perspective. Where'd she go? That project that this Queen of Disc is approaching, she's excited about that because the sun is trine with Mars, and she's ready to tackle on stuff. So this is a good time if there's something that you've been meaning to tackle or that been looking for that extra motivation. This is a good time to do it. It's that like there's just something innate like I just got to do it. We're doing it. I mean, hell, I'm knocking out a bunch of videos today, so it's just like use the energy to your advantage. And then lastly, you have the Venus, like there's multiple. You have Venus squaring Pluto, and to square something is a 90-degree angle, yeah, and it ends on the 25th. But this is kind of being aware of any sort of discord in your relationships. If you feel like that there's something that's not quite been, maybe you got a partner who doesn't use a coaster or tends to throw cards all over the place, or keeps his notes on his desk while he's doing the news. Like whatever little thing. I don't know what. Well, I hope that doesn't piss you off, but any little thing that might upset you, or that like might annoy you or something like that. This is kind of that time to maybe address those changes, to provide that safe space to just like, hey, I feel the nice way I've been kind of spinning it is like, hey, have I done anything to offend you this week? And to create that safe space to just like, to kind of air out these things. Like, what can I do to make your, when someone's coming home, how do you like to be greeted? Do you want me to be like, do you need all the love? Do you need me to, do you need a lending ear? Do you need just a moment by yourself? This is kind of the time to address that dissonance. And I feel like, you put it like that, then, the person that opens up the person to reciprocate. And then we got a very healthy thing. We're making the most of our aspects. So hopefully this stuff is useful for you. That's my goal with this stuff. All right. Really, I mean, I guess I'll pull a surprise card, even though I've been your personal cheerleader today. What's one more act of come on, Virgo. What's one more act of kindness? And what better one than success? So, it explains itself. This is about you. Success is right around the corner. Channel that wisdom. You've been through this. You know how to deal with this, Virgo. Get with this, call upon those great skills so that you can get this success, so that you can get this cheerleader, this overly eager cheerleader off your back. I want to, and listen, I don't mind I'll cheer for you as long as you need me to. But, you know, if I don't have to be so over the top, I mean, that's cool. Because do you really want that all the time? It's cool in moderation. All right, Virgos. I'll leave that there. I won't hold you any longer. Thank you for this. I hope this was as nice for me as it was for you. You know, I'm really, the vibes are really good here, and I really hope that you're feeling that. So let's keep raising the vibration. Have yourself a great week, and I will see you on the next one. Later.